George Orwell's 1984, a book that pretty much predicted the future. 1984 is an exploration of power, surveillance, control, language, and rebellion. How does Orwell's dystopian vision compare to the world we live in today? Published in 1949. 1984 is Orwell's chilling prophecy about the future, but ironically, it's become a guidebook for recognizing authoritarian trends, not just in politics, but in culture, technology, and even in ourselves. The world Orwell created was bleak, suffocating, and terrifyingly believable. And if we listen closely, it might just be truths about our own time. The story is set in Oceania, one of 3 superstates perpetually at war. Society is governed by a totalitarian regime led by an omnipresent, possibly fictional leader, Big Brother. There are 4 ministries: the Ministry of Truth, responsible for propaganda and historical revisionism; the Ministry of Peace, which handles war; the Ministry of Love, the center of torture and re-education; the Ministry of Plenty, which manages economic scarcity. Each name is a paradox, and that's intentional. Orwell introduces us to a world of contradictions. In fact, one of the party's central slogans is, "War is peace, freedom is slavery, ignorance is strength." These are not just clever phrases. They form the bedrock of doublethink, the psychological mechanism that allows citizens to accept 2 contradictory truths at once. The protagonist, Winston Smith, is a cog in the machine. He works at the Ministry of Truth, altering past records to align with the present narrative. He knows the truth is being manipulated, but he's powerless. Or at least that's how it begins. Truth in 1984 is a flexible concept. If the party says 2 + 2 is equal to 5, then it must be true. Not because it is true, but because they say so. This idea resonates strongly in today's post-truth era. The rise of misinformation, fake news, and the rejection of expert consensus reflects the erosion of a shared reality. Orwell predicted that those in power wouldn't just distort facts, they'd destroy the idea of objective truth. In today's world, politicians openly contradict past statements. Deepfakes can fabricate video evidence. Social media algorithms prioritize engagement over accuracy. Truth becomes relative. What's true is what your side says is true. This isn't just a technological issue, it's psychological. Orwell understood that if you can sever people's connection to truth, you can control them completely. Big Brother is watching you. That iconic phrase isn't just about government surveillance. It's about the loss of private selfhood. In 1984, there are telescreens in every home, microphones hidden in parks, and children trained to report their parents. In 2025, we carry tracking devices called smartphones. We voluntarily install voice-activated assistants. Our digital footprints are constantly monitored. Websites track our behavior. Corporations build psychological profiles. Governments can tap communications under the banner of national security. China's social credit system, for instance, echoes Orwellian surveillance. Cameras track behavior, and citizens are scored on their loyalty and compliance. But it's not just authoritarian regimes. In liberal democracies, surveillance has crept in through convenience. Orwell warned of tyranny imposed from above. But what if we opt in to our own oppression? Newspeak is the official language of Oceania. Its purpose? To reduce the range of thought. If a word doesn't exist, the idea it represents becomes unthinkable. Compare this to how language evolves today. Euphemisms sanitize war, collateral damage instead of civilian deaths. Political language obscures truth. Alternative facts became a real term. Social media breeds buzzwords and tribal slogans that shut down complex discussion. Language is power. Orwell grasped that limiting language limits thought. When we reduce nuanced discussions to hashtags or memes, we inch toward a newspeak-like culture. Winston's rebellion begins with a simple act: writing in a diary. In a world where the party controls every thought, that tiny assertion of the self is radical. Today, identity is often shaped by online platforms. Individuality is both performed and policed. You must adopt the right opinions. Dissent is punished through cancel culture. Social media rewards conformity through likes, shares, and outrage. Orwell didn't just fear collectivism imposed by the state. He feared the internalization of control when people police themselves and each other. Who controls the past controls the future. Who controls the present controls the past. The party doesn't just rewrite newspapers. It erases entire people from history, the so-called unpersons. Today, historical narratives are contested in politics, education, and public discourse. Debates over statues and monuments, revisions of textbooks, censorship of historical atrocities in some nations. This isn't always malicious, but when history becomes a battleground, Orwell's warning is clear: memory is political. If the past is uncertain, the future can be molded. In 1984, the party floods citizens with propaganda. Truth is buried under repetition and spectacle. Modern media can be just as overwhelming. 24/7 news blurs fact and opinion. Clickbait incentivizes outrage over accuracy. Algorithms trap users in echo chambers. When everyone lives in their own media bubble, consensus reality breaks down. And that makes manipulation easier. Winston tries to resist. He seeks truth. He falls in love. He dreams of revolution. But Orwell offers no happy ending. Winston is broken, re-educated, and made to love Big Brother. Is that all there is? Not quite. Orwell wasn't a nihilist. He believed in the power of language, literature, and thought. The fact that 1984 exists is itself an act of resistance. And today we still have choices. We can think critically. We can demand accountability. We can value privacy, defend free speech, and protect historical truth. Orwell showed us the worst so we could fight for the better. 1984 is more than a novel. It's a warning. And the closer we come to resembling its world, the more vital it is that we heed that warning. Orwell wrote, "If you want a picture of the future, imagine a boot stamping on a human face. Forever. But it doesn't have to end that way. Not if we remember what he was really telling us. That truth matters. That freedom requires vigilance. That power must always be questioned. Always be vigilant of the incentives of the people that you source your information from. Always be aware of what personal information you might be giving away. Ground yourself in knowledge that will better yours and the lives around you. Don't get sucked into the rat race of modern media. And always resist Big Brother. Thank you for listening.